These are turbulent times for local retailers. The impact of COVID and the ongoing difficulties stemming from Brexit continue to contribute to an uncertain landscape. That said, Christmas seems to have provided a welcome uptick in sales across the board, and Main Street traders are clear on who they have to thank for that.
Well, sales in the run-up to Christmas, where the weather was so warm, was a little bit disappointing. And the week before Christmas, we had all that rain. So we were really worried about how Christmas trade would be. But the final week, Gibraltar delivered, and we had a good, strong week, particularly on foods. So overall, actually, it was pretty good for us.
Christmas has been fantastic. The locals have kept it local. Sales, I wouldn't say very high, but well balanced.
Oh, sales have been amazing. We have queues for 45 minutes or something like that. Yes, it was crazy.
Christmas has been good for us. We've been very fortunate. The local trade has been supporting us as always. It's been a couple of months that have been quite tough, but just December for us has been really good actually. Thanks to the locals, obviously.
Christmas sale has not been bad. Thank God, the weather has helped a little bit, and our local clients, still supporting Marvalak from many, many years.
The local support has been especially welcome, given that, in most cases, it seems money from outside the Rock is not being spent quite as readily in local shops as it was in years gone by. We asked how much tourist expenditure was contributing to the bottom line.
Very little, to be quite honest. I think we've sort of done good business because of our local trade, but then again, I think that's always been the case, really. It's always a bonus, obviously, with the tourists and obviously expats and people crossing over the border. That's always a bonus. I think after the pandemic, we've just got to realise that it's our local trade we've got to confide in.
Not so much, definitely not. We were definitely more reliant on local trade this year. I'm not sure, the border queues weren't too bad, but we definitely felt there was a lack of expat and Spanish people coming over in the run-up to Christmas.
Not so much the Spanish, but the expats that are living over there. They'd rather come over here and see, in my case, it's the international wines that they can't find over there in Spain. So they come over here and they take their limit over the border.
Locals, totally locals. We have some tourists, but all the fully of the sales, locals, all locals.
Even we see in the news many tourists come to Gib, but doesn't spend, only come maybe for visiting, but you can ask anyone. Jewelry, clothing is not one buying, just I think it's coming only for some reason to see war Gibraltar, and see something about the history of Gibraltar.
As for the future, well, question marks remain, and they will continue to hang over the retail sector until the small matter of Brexit is clarified.
I'm stocking up, and it worries me for the price, my cost of transport, documentation on the borders and things like that. That's all. It is worrying. There's no contingency plan. We can't really. It's the only other thing I can think of is trying to look elsewhere for supplies and how to get it into Gibraltar.
We talk to other retailers all the time, but there's also been meetings with Number 6. So there's been as much communication as I think they've been happy to give out, which hasn't been a lot. So we're as much in the dark really as anybody else. And I think it would be good to get a decision so that we know one way or the other what we've got to plan for and what contingency plans we've got to put in place.
As these and other traders have pointed out, it's near impossible to plan for both a deal and a no-deal scenario at the same time. And yet they must continue doing what they can until an outcome is reached, one way or another.